Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the Detroit Lions 4th round draft pick, Amon Ra St Brown, and why I think he'll have a top 3 wide receiver impact out of his rookie draft class. So, Amon Ra St Brown, in my opinion, was honestly a steal. The fact that he fell in the 4th round and then even went to the Detroit Lions was just crazy town. The fact that it actually happened, I don't really understand how it happened. Amon Ra was in my top 3 receiver lists, like top 5. And it went Jamar Chase, Terrace Marshall, Bateman, Kadarius Toney, then Amon Ra. But the more I've kind of looked into Amon Ra's film, I honestly like him just as much as I liked. I like him more than I like Bateman. He's my 3rd receiver now, and the fact that the Lions got that good receiver in the 4th is amazing, and I think he'll pair off really well with Tyrell Williams and Rashad Perriman. So first, let's kind of look into the film. First off, I'm using some film from JustBombsProductions. I'll be using some of his highlights. I'm going to talk about what makes him such a good player. So I'll set a link in the description for JustBombs' channel, so make sure to give him a watch. His highlights are amazing. I'm only going to be using certain clips. So let's look at this first one. I'm going to be showing you. Hopefully it can show his Oregon tape. Here we go. Look at this. So, look at this. He's wide open. Right then and there. And that was even a terrible, floater by Silvers, and he had all that time to still catch and run in for a touchdown. Watch this. Nice move. Cuts. Moves. Makes, I think that's Thomas Graham, fall down. Boom. Wide open. There's the separation the Lions have absolutely lacked during the Matthew Stafford era. Watch this next play. Right in again. Boom. He's wide open. Again. Look at this guy's separation. Whoop. Cut. Makes the guy fall on his knees. Again. He makes that play. Another play. Here we go. All the way. He's a deep threat as well. He gets that play in. 2 guys around him. There's his contested catch. So, he has some really good film. And I believe it's right here. So, Robert Woods just has some really amazing plays. So I'm going to let this ad play out here. That is just absolutely fantastic. And, oh, here it is. Yeah. Okay. Here's his go getting his yak yards. And if I can find, there's a play that he just absolutely runs through everyone and shows that this guy. Is it here? Look at that. Once again, he's just open. He's great in yards after the catch. He's no Tony. Look at that contested catch. Guy's right on him. He's amazingly great at almost everything. He's not like this. He doesn't have per se a dominance about him, but he's just good at everything. And he has one of the most complete route trees according to PFN. If I can find positives. Displays good speed, moving directions. Let's see. Now, there is some. So he does possess some ability to be number 1, by the way. I don't really know if he'll ever fit that, but I sure hope he does. So there's one thing that is kind of the struggling, if I can find it. I know he has that route tree. So he has one. Okay, if you actually watch a lot of his film, he has just a complete route tree. I've seen him do just about everything for the Trojans. He's been using the backfield. He's been using everything. And so he just has everything. There was this there's a play in here. Let me see if I can find it where he's using the backfield. I think it's right here. No, it's not. Okay. So I can't get all the film in there because then I don't want to use all Just Bombs video. So go watch his. If you watch the entire thing, there's a play where he's just used, I think it's against UCLA, as a halfback, and he just runs. It's amazing. And his ability to just do stuff is fantastic. And let's see. I know there's a route tree part. I seen him do everything. And not just be used as a route guide, to be used as a gadget player, to be used as a halfback, to just be used as just, I can't believe it. Here it is. One thing that's great to see during his time at UC was his fully expanded route tree from Dynasty Nerds. That's what it was. It wasn't PFN. So, it's just an amazing thing. And the thing that the player he reminds me most of coming out of USC is actually Robert Woods. They're similar size. 5'11" is 5'11 and a half is Amon Ra's size. And he, let's see, goes combine. He's 5'11", and I believe he's 197. It's 197 to 195. So 1 inch smaller than, an inch and a half smaller than Robert Woods, and 2 pounds heavier. And they both ran similar 40. So Robert Woods ran a 4.51. Amon Ra St Brown, 40 time, ran a 4.59. And according to this, he even ran a 4.51. So, honestly, yeah, okay, unofficial time is a 4.51. So basically, they're carbon copies of each other. And Brad Holmes, in an interview, even compared Amon Ra to Robert Woods. So, I'm just saying the guy who was with him for a couple of years compared him to that. And so another thing from his interview is he's also ranked 8th in catches in the personal interview that you watched with Amon Ra. So he's great at contested catches. He's got separations. He's got the route tree. He can line up as an outside. He can line up as a slot. He can be used in the backfield. I love the selection of Amon Ra St Brown. His versatility is what makes me like him more than Rashad Bateman. It's not because we're not any knock on Rashad Bateman. It's because this guy can be used so much and can do good at everything. Obviously, the only problem he had is he did have some drop issues. But when I watched his film on drop issues, it was because he would look at it, he'd have it, but he'd try to run with it, and then he'd accidentally drop it. He had the technique right, and he'd use his hands correctly. It's just he tried to run with it. I think that's very coachable, and I think it'll be fixed. Another big part in my liking of Amon Ra is he's had statistical production as well. And he's never like this supremely dominant college player. But he had amazing seasons. He averaged 12.8 yards a season. He averaged 12.8 yards. He had a 1,000-yard year with 6 touchdowns, along with 95. And he went 478 yards and 7 touchdowns last season. And he's only played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 games, and yet he had 7 touchdowns. This man was insane. 200-yard game, then he had a 4-touchdown game, then he had 2 touchdown games with over 70 yards, and he had a 74-touchdown game with another good thing to look at his stats, if I can find his running back play stat, and tell you to look at the game to find it. There it is. It's Colorado that he has the run touchdown. Yeah, he literally had a rushing touchdown versus Colorado. He could be used in the backfield. He's just a fantastic player. You have to look at it. And he's had some amazing games. The ASU game, obviously, statistically amazing. UCLA game, great. Stanford game, great. Solid versus Utah. Great versus Notre Dame. He's a good player. I really like Amon Ra St Brown. And that's the potential this guy has. If he can fix up his drop issues, which is the only thing that is really going to hold him back in the NFL, you guys got yourself a stud here. But that's the type of guy that we're getting. we're getting a guy who can basically be Golden Tate and Robert Woods mixed into each other in one. It's just the only difference is he's not as fast as Golden Tate, because this guy can also be incredibly shifty. Run versus Colorado. I can see if I can pull it up. Dang. Looks like I can't, but that just tells you how amazing this guy is. He's too good with the statistics he has to, in my opinion, to just be this like terrible player. He's a player with a low floor, like a high floor, but also a player with a pretty high ceiling too. I really like this guy. I think in terms of instant impact, I think he's going to have the second most impact. And I'm going to tell you why I think he'll have the second most impact. Let's look at the receivers drafted. I'm about to go. Wideouts drafted 2021, if I can. Okay, let's talk about this draft class. The only receiver I have that's going to have a better year is Jamar Chase. Now, I'm going to get some heat for that one. Let's talk about why I think. So, Jamar Chase already has QB chemistry with Joe Burrow, and even though the line's going to suck, I still think Jamar Chase is going to have a good year with Burrow, so long as Burrow is not hurt. But Devontae Smith, I was never high on him. Like, I think he'll have like a top 3. I think another player who actually might have an instant impact is Terrace Marshall in Carolina. But Devontae Smith is 6'1", and he was in 160 when he was measured in Indianapolis. And he ran an average 4.49. He's not as versatile as Amon Ra St Brown, and he should be playing with Jalen Hurts. And I have not bought into Jalen Hurts. I think they should have kept Jalen Hurts and had Carson Wentz and QB. Terrible touchdown pick ratio, terrible completion percentage. I feel like he's gonna get figured out. He could. It's just I don't see it happening, man. Jalen Waddle, on the other hand, a guy who's supposed to be a deep threat, is going to a quarterback who just didn't produce. He was amazing in 2020. But that's my thing. Is let's go to Miami real quick. Let's go to Tua Tagovailoa. Here's why I am concerned with Tua Tagovailoa and the combination of Jalen Waddle. Tua Tagovailoa averaged 6.3 yards per throw and 11 touchdowns and 5 picks. He was awful last year. If we're basing off the same quarterback, I do not think that you're going to see production from Jalen Waddle, who's supposed to be this deep threat. If he was someone like a Stafford or a Dak Prescott, I think Jalen Waddle would have done amazing. But I just don't see it. I think he'll have his moments. I think he'll have a similar season to Henry Ruggs. Being fast does not equal success. And I don't know. He's also coming off an injury that kept him off the sideline. He's 5'10". Not every small fast guy is Tyreek Hill. And if you go to his combine, I think he was rated 5'9", wasn't he? Yeah, this guy was 5'9". He's 5'9". I'm sorry, the first 2 receivers selected, I'm just not a fan of these, like, players who supposedly are better. I don't see it. I think it's none of the Alabama success tree. Next is Rashad Bateman. This isn't going to be another thing of a scheme bet for me. I did not think the selection of Rashad Bateman made sense. Lamar Jackson, I think, fits best with speedy after the catch guys. I think like someone like Rondale Moore or Elijah Moore or Diami Brown would have made more sense than Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman while he did run a 4.4, he is not a yards after the catch demon. He's a lot more like an OBJ. He's the contested catch, getting tough with guys. And my big thing is, name one receiver who's had success with Lamar Jackson. You can't. That's my biggest thing. There's not a single receiver who's gotten the 1,000-yard mark. Marquise Brown regressed and had drop issues. Mark Andrews is the only player to have success with him. Michael Crabtree didn't have success. Willie Snead didn't have success. John Brown didn't have success, but goes to Josh Allen, the battered version of Josh Allen, and goes and has a 1,000-yard season. Receivers just don't have the production that they normally do. Now, Kadarius Toney's also be playing with Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones, who even knows? This guy is super inconsistent. His rookie season, he had some fairly good numbers. But his sophomore season, they just didn't have it. And is their O-line really going to be that much more improved? That's my thing. If we go to New York, let me see. There we go, New York. They didn't draft a single O-lineman. That's their O-line's the reason that Daniel Jones supposedly sucked. Nate Soldier, awful. Shayla Mix, meh. Will Hernandez literally got kicked out of the group. Matt Peart was solid. I don't see this a huge breakout season. Just because you have the weapons don't mean you have the success. And I'm not a believer in Rondale Moore. I don't think he's going to explode when he's already going to be competing against Christian Kirk, Fitz, and AJ. I don't see it. I think it's going to be Amon Ra. Terrence Marshall is going to be competing against Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. Because if we go to Carolina, that's a pretty good receiver core. And heck, he's going to be competing against 1,000-yard receiver in Christian McCaffrey as well. I think he'll be good, but I think Amon Ra, what's his competition? TJ Hawkinson, okay. That's a great player, but he's not had 1,000 yards yet. So it's not like he's going to be the only target. Tyler Williams, I do love, but he's not an elite receiver. Rashad Perriman, great player, but once again, he's inconsistent. He's not always consistently good. Amon Ra can be consistent, and he's going to be able to get the ball. And then you even got a run game going, so it's like you only have to focus on Amon Ra and Hawkinson. And my big thing is with that is, if we go to the 2017 Rams, there we go, 2017 regular season. There wasn't a single 900-yard receiver, yet Goff played well. Robert Woods had good stats. Cooper Kupp had good stats. I think this team resembles the 2017 Los Angeles Rams offense. I mean, I'm just saying. 2018, and Goff has had successful receivers. 1,000 yards. Then you go to 2019. 1,000 yards. 2020. Again, another. Yeah, Robert Woods even had 1,000 yards by NFL comparison for him. Like, it's possible that this can happen. I just think, in the end, Amon Ra has the talent to be amazing and play instantly well. I don't know if he'll ever have the ceiling. I'm not saying at the end of the day Amon Ra is going to be the second or third, but I think of instant rookie impact, Amon Ra can definitely do it. I just think that's his kind of potential, and that's what I'm just excited to know, is that's the type of player he can be. And so I'm just saying, like, I don't know, it's just, I have a really good feeling about Amon Ra that I never had with a lot of wide receivers. Quintus Cephas, he had some solidarity. Like, I haven't felt this good about a receiver, honestly, I would say, since Kenny Golladay. I'm not saying it's Kenny Golladay, but that's, in terms of, like, I know this guy's to produce, that's what I feel. And that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this segment, and let's hope that I'm right. One Pride, welcome to the den. Hit the like button and subscribe.